It's Christmas again. It happens every year. Who knows when the next one will be? Hope everyone's having an alright kind of day. Because we all know 2016 was a bag of dicks. Just awful. So let's get all festive with a new kind of Christmas game. One of the very few Christmas games ever released. Days before Christmas. And yes, of course, I'll be talking about the Mega Drive version because, well, this is Sega Critic. Be weird if I did the SNES version, or Super Nintendo. The story is summed up to you in this Dr. Seuss kind of Christmas rhyme garbage, so I'll translate it into something we can all bear. Big snowman chases away all the elves. Big clock steals all of Santa's plans. All the presents have been casted a spell upon them by a fat rat, and some potions have been made to turn Santa evil, which you can actually take in the game and it'll turn you into anti-Santa, but I'll talk about that later. You must find all of the presents and defeat all of the bad guys to save Christmas. Yeah, pretty standard. First thing I noticed was the advent calendar when entering a new level. It's a really nice touch, and before entering a new level, you are given this little screen of what the level might look like, more or less. Like some sort of art rendition. It's pretty neat, I like it. Alright, because Sunsoft had their hands in this one, you would expect it to have some pretty good music, right? But, you know, it's okay. Now, to some of you that might seem a little odd, because no matter what software Sunsoft uses, their music design is always the top stuff. But I think I understand why the soundtrack in this game is a little lackluster. They aren't really given that much of a free rein here. All they had to go on was a Christmas feel or jingles or whatever. So really all they had to go on was old songs and variations of an icy motif. So remixes with that sort of thing mostly put into this game, which isn't a bad thing. Like I said before, the music is alright, but that's all it is. You're not going to get anything that'll give you that chicken skin in a video game. Graphically, it looks good. 1994 Mega Drive games usually did. Next year the new hardware was going to come out, and all the veteran developers had worked out how to use the old hardware and could use it to the maximum potential. And I could safely say they did pretty well here. All the sprites and tiles mesh well together, and all the colours pop out right at the screen. The colour palette of course would be limited, with it being a Christmas game, so mostly whites, reds and greens, and the old gold here and there. For most of the part, I was pretty pleased. Note that most part, this game isn't all Christmas cheer. The levels themselves are somewhat Christmassy. I mean, you start off at Santa's house, that's nice. Then you're outside in the snow, the snowmen and penguins, sure. But then shit starts to go a bit weird. Some levels feel really out of place, like this ice cave for example. You're in this cave slip sliding all over the place, trying to find your reindeer, and the music in this stage doesn't make me feel Christmassy at all. And after that, you're put into some earthworm gym kind of crap. I think it's supposed to be Santa's workshop, with all the conveyor belts and such, but that's all I have to go on. If there were no conveyor belts, I'd be lost for words. There are flying carpets everywhere, and the background looks like something you'd find out of a coffee commercial. Could they have not tried a little harder to make this look like a factory? I mean, I don't know what kind of pressure these devs were under, but some explanation would be nice. Also, I found nothing about the development cycle in this game. Almost like the people who worked on this don't wish to be known. After that you fight a less than mediocre boss, and by the way, every boss in this game is a huge letdown, so don't play this for the bosses. However, this part I wish there was more of, flying over cities and delivering presents. I love it! Because all the presents you collected now have to be delivered, and the more you deliver, the more points you get, and you have to aim the gifts right down the chimney whilst avoiding obstacles on the way. It's very arcade-like, and honestly I prefer it to the whole game itself. Just level after level of these flying stages visiting different cities around the world. Yeah, I'd buy that. And I'm not going to talk anymore about stages, because only a small handful actually makes sense and for the Christmassy mood, and the rest just feels like they chucked over leftover assets from games that never got released. Nothing but rinse and repeat after the flying stages really. More levels, more bosses than a fly stage, just that over and over and over. Right, and I bet you're just dying to know how this game actually feels by controls. Well, it isn't bad really. It's as simple as they could possibly have made it. Its movement is steady, the jump arc is nice, the magic spurt or whatever the shit this is does its job, sort of. can't really nitpick any of it. It's just really simple and easy to use. Also, if you grab the coffee, you'll turn into Evil Santa. You'll be invincible and you get to smash stuff with a big old bag of treats. I actually want a Christmas game where you are just Evil Santa. No rhyme or reason to it. Can I please just have a pure, unadulterated Christmas chaos game where you play as Santa and you just fuck shit up? Like, seriously, if there are any indie developers listening to this, you can have this idea for free. Make it happen. I'd buy that in a heartbeat. There is something wrong with this Christmas delight. A bunch of little things can be poked and prodded to make it seem like one of the worst creations ever made, but you know what? I'd recommend this. You heard me correctly, I like this game. There were so many parts that made me smile and laugh whilst playing, at both the bizarre design choices and its actual charm, and this game has plenty of it. I don't think I can explain to you why or how I managed to play through the whole thing without giving up, and from what I've found on my past experiences, if I can't explain why a bad game is good, it's probably because it's charming and endearing. So I highly recommend Days Before Christmas if you're struggling for a Christmas game, because Lord knows there isn't that many of them. Yep, the formula's been changed, there's none of that weird stuff at the end, so if you're gonna have a merry fat Christmas, you better go and do it before the day ends or some shit. Also, there's gonna be a message on New Year's Day. It'll be very important to explain all of this and what I've been doing. You'll look forward to that. See you New Year's. Bye.